WRSR, Owasso, Flint. The following program has been pre-recorded and is paid for by Discover Flint Township. The views expressed are those of Discover Flint Township and do not necessarily reflect the views of 103.9 The Fox or Krill Communications, Inc. Welcome to Discover Flint Township, a program showcasing our local community. Flint Township is ready for your next move. And now, your host, Flint Township Economic Enhancement Director, Tracy Tucker.
You're listening to Discover Flint Township, brought to you by Flint Township Economic Development Authorities, HAP, Financial Plus Credit Union, Shea Automotive Group, and 103.9 The Fox. We're wide awake, and we hope you are too. This morning, we will be speaking with Nathan Adams from Financial Plus Credit Union, and we'll also shine our guaranteed rate business spotlight on the Glam Boutique, if I can get the words out. Let's get started with Nathan. Nathan, I'm going to have you introduce yourself, and I want to remind everybody that May is Small Business Month, so we're going to be concentrating on some of those topics today and through the rest of the month. But today we're starting out with Nathan again from Financial Plus Credit Union. So let's tell our listeners what you do at Financial Plus, Nathan.
Okay, thanks, Tracy. And thank you for having me on. I am the Director of Business Services at Financial Plus. So I lead a team of 3 commercial loan officers or business lenders and support staff. And so we kind of serve our members with business loans and business deposits and advice.
Awesome.
And becoming, a trusted advisor for our business members.
Great. And I know you have a topic today for our small business listeners, something that every business should have. So why don't you go ahead and let us know what you're doing today?
Yeah, so I'm going to walk through how to create a business plan for small business owners. And so I equate it to almost going back to school, learning how to write a paper and creating an outline, and then filling in that outline with detail. And I think a business plan works similar. It's kind of a roadmap to succession for many business owners. So the first step is creating an executive summary, which is a high level who, what, where, how, and why. Things to include would be what makes your company a success. Include things like mission statement, your product and service, and basic information about the company's leadership and about skill sets.
Right. So you kind of tell the story of your business, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And then the second component is kind of a company description and providing detailed information about the company. Go into detail about problems that the business solves for its customers. Explain the competitive advantages that will make the business successful now and in the future. What is the company's value proposition? What is unique about the company in the marketplace? And kind of what's the secret sauce? What makes it special?
So that's kind of an overall view of what the company does and how they interact with their customers and other businesses and that type of thing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. And then the third component is kind of a market analysis where you're kind of providing an understanding of what the industry outlook is in that field, the company's target market, industry trends, what markets you are targeting, and what do successful competitors do, and why does it work, and can you do it any better?
Yeah, and so when they're doing that market analysis, would they not only would talk about what's going on in their area, but in the areas where they're sending their product as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And so then what would be the next step?
Would be to kind of outline the organization and management. How's the company structured? Who runs it? And how is it staffed? This can be done kind of utilizing an organizational chart to lay out, again, who's in charge and how the business functions.
Yeah.
And be a way to include a resume. And I'll outline the last component is the appendix that I'll kind of walk through, and providing a resume would be one of those.
Sure.
And then really, what kind of legal structure is your company? Is it a S Corp, C Corp, LLC? And then really, who have you talked to as far as an attorney or a CPA to provide you some guidance there as well?
Sure. So then, so now you've told them your story. You've told them what your business is. You've showed them market analysis. You've showed them from top to bottom what your organization is, who you interact with. So then what is the next one? Do you look at what you actually do? Is that what you do?
Yep. So the next step would be service or product line. And that's where you really are describing what you sell and the service that you offer or plan to offer, explaining kind of the benefits that you provide to your customers and what kind of differentiates yourself from your competitors.
Sure. Yeah, because that overall, that's the most important. One of the most important things is, what do I do? What does my company do, right?
Yes.
So then, the next step, you're looking at, what would that be?
Yep, marketing and sales. So how do you attract and retain customers? Who's in charge of this function? Are you the chief salesperson as the owner?
Okay.
Describing your proposed marketing and sales strategy, and describe how an actual sale happens in your business.
Okay.
And how much of your selling will come from, online or social media channels or other kind of B2B channels.
Right. That makes sense. You want people to understand how you're getting the word out, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then what's the next step?
Yep. And that's funding the company or funding request. How's the company funded?
Okay.
How much money has been kind of put in by the owner? Is there enough capital in the company?
Okay.
And then regarding kind of a direct funding request, what are your funding needs for the future, and how are you going to spend that money once you have it? Are you buying equipment, paying salaries, covering kind of working capital or bills until you start collecting revenue? Or if you're growing, start collecting the funds.
So it'd be basically like an audit where it's showing where the funds are coming from, what's out in payables or what's out in collectibles and that type of thing, and putting that all together in a cohesive package to show people where you're at financially in the business, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then I'm sure there's a couple more things you need for this business plan, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So the second to the last would be financial projections. So you were talking about kind of that audit component, but the financial projections kind of look at what's going to happen in the future.
Okay.
So creating an income statement that looks at kind of worst case, best case, and most likely case scenarios where you can kind of show, this is what we're expecting for sales, this is our cost structure, and this is what we're expecting to make for a net profit.
Okay.
And then there are templates available and resources for business owners to do this, so they don't have to create the wheel.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want to have to do that. And then, so you said that there were 9 steps, so we're at 8. So what's the last one?
So the last step is kind of considered the appendix, and that's where, again, I referenced including resumes for the business owner and its leadership team, identify any key partnerships with attorneys, CPAs, and business mentors, provide any kind of equipment list or other collateral that may be kind of germane to the funding request, and then really just kind of knowing the business owner's understanding and knowing their credit score and how that might positively or negatively impact the business plan.
Okay.
And then, as I kind of alluded, there are many resources out there for business owners to help them create a great business plan, that they don't have to go it alone. First and foremost, myself and our team at Financial Plus can really help and guide any of our prospective business owners through the process, and we do that on a daily basis. And then I'd like to highlight the SBA also provides tools and templates. And then there's an organization called SCORE, which is actually funded by the SBA, and it's a kind of an army of volunteers that are business mentors that a business owner can reach out to and get free of charge. So.
Yeah, and I would also mention that at Kettering in Flint, we have the Michigan Small Business Development Center, who will also help for free to do these. And what I want people to understand is that having a small, an effective business plan is essential if you're looking at trying to get any grants or loans from the SBA. So you want to make sure you have this information handy, and it's a good idea, even if you're not looking at a loan or a grant right now, get the information together. So if that grant becomes available or a loan becomes available or you need a loan, that you have the information on hand. So that's just my 2 cents.
Yep. I totally agree, Tracy, and I think even if you're not looking for a grant or funding at this second, it at least allows you to plan for the future and kind of guide you through a strategic plan. So.
Yes, that's great. So, Nathan, where can our listeners get more information from you if they want to get more information on this?
Yep, they can reach me at, I'll give you my email address. It's nadams@myfpcu.com, or my phone number is 810-244-8401.
Great.
And then we also have a contact center number, which I do not have memorized, but it's on our website.
All right.
And folks can call in there and get in touch with our business department.
Yeah, and the website is myfpcu.com, right? Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so it's myfpcu.com. So myfinancialpluscreditunion.com. So that is great information, and I know if you're listening and this is something you need to do, please reach out and take advantage of the aid that Nathan can give you, or the Small Business Administration, or the Small Business Development Center. But if you need the help, it's out there and it's available for free. So we want you to take advantage of those things. I want to thank you for calling in today, Nathan. It was very interesting to hear what people can do to have an effective business plan. And so we're going to have Nathan back again. Well, are you coming back next month, or is it somebody else? Do you know?
I think somebody else is coming back next month.
All right. Well, we'll hear from you again, I'm sure.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in,
you,
Nathan.
Tracy.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
During our Guaranteed Rate Business Spotlight segment every week, we will feature a local Flint Township business. And today we have Deria Brown from the Glam Boutique. Hi, Deria. How are you?
Hello. How you doing?
I'm good. Why don't you introduce yourself and let everybody know what you do at Glam Boutique.
All right. Well, thanks so much for having me. Thank you to the program sponsors. I'm grateful for our time together. I own Glam Boutiques. It's a boutique for women, all shapes, all shades, all sizes.
Yes.
Yeah. The average woman in America now wears a size 14.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Yeah.
And so we cater to that need here in Flint Township and then, throughout the city of Flint.
That's wonderful. So now you have more than one location. You have the location here in Flint Township, and where is that at?
Yes, that is inside the Somerset Salon Plaza. Their beautiful location.
Yes.
There on Miller Road, and then downtown Flint. We are in the Shops on Saginaw, which is a fairly new venture inside Flint, and then a freestanding location on Saginaw Street in downtown Flint in a revitalized building that they tell me is, it used to be Kresge's or something from way back. Real Flint history down there.
I know where you're at. Yeah, Kresge's. Oh my gosh, I hadn't heard that in a while. I know that my parents used to go down when Montgomery Ward was down there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're showing our age, right? At least I am. So let's talk about it because it is a really nice store and it is inside Somerset. You don't have to be using salon services to go. You can just go to your boutique, right?
Correct.
So I actually use Somerset, so I'm going to say that right off the top, and they're not paying me to say it. So, but I that's how I found your boutique.
Right.
Was I was in there, and while I was waiting for services, I went into your little boutique there, and it used to be in a different spot inside the salon, didn't it? Or they had a boutique that had a different entrance or something, but now you go right in the main entrance, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So you go in, you can either get services, but if you're not, you can go right into the boutique and get look through what you have there.
Shop at your leisure.
Yeah. So tell people what type of items you have at the boutique.
It's a fun store, and we really focus on the shape of women and creating that silhouette. So it's very, very simple clothing, some boho, flowy dresses, things that women can actually fit. If you've ever had the frustration of shopping and things don't fit. And so I have the ability to bring in, curate things that a real woman can wear and look beautiful and classy, elegant, because that's still a thing, right? Wearing clothes is still a thing.
Yeah. Please wear your clothes.
So with that in mind, we do like to have the women. Our average customer is right around age 32, all the way up to 60. One of our regular customers is about 67 years old, and she is awesome.
Yeah, and you have really trendy styles, but then you have some of just the go-to like little sweaters or jackets, cardigan type style. But
easy pull on, and then especially with the last year, we've been carrying a lot of leggings.
Oh, really? I hadn't even noticed that when I was in there the other day. I was going through some of the clothes, and I will say I have bought some things from the Glam Boutique, and really comfortable. I loved that.
That's great to hear.
And but you have stuff other than clothes. You had some super cute purses when I was in there not too long ago.
We do have handbags, accessories. I try to put together a unique collection every season, and I travel often, especially now that the world is opening up, travel often to get to those places where we can, because that's the fun of shopping at a boutique, right? You're going to pick up something that you can't find somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that is my desire, to have that moment where you're like, oh my gosh, I got to have this.
Right. And because it is a boutique and you don't have 50 of every size and every style. So when you go in, you will have to look through and figure out what has your size and what doesn't. But that's what makes it unique as well, because you're not wearing what everybody else is wearing. Right. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about how has the last year affected you?
Oh my gosh. Aside from curling up in a little ball and crying off.
Yeah, we won't talk about the crying.
COVID-19, when it first initially hit, it hit retail hard. Mm-hmm. First of all of my staff quit. all stores.
Oh, geez.
They were able to get unemployment and just kind of hunker down and get healthy mentally. And so that's the choice that they made. So all stores shut down. And honestly, I thought that we're going to contract. We weren't going to be able to get back open.
Right.
And not really knowing where the economy was going to go with this.
Right.
The last thing people wanted to do was shop. I closed in March of 2020. And if you recall, stores didn't open back up till summer.
Right.
So I was stuck with old inventory,
right,
things that I couldn't move. I mean, it was catastrophic at the onset. And so it took a great deal of reprogramming to get back in the game after COVID hit.
Yeah. And were you able to take advantage of or receive any of the grants that have been offered?
Some of them. The whole grant process, it was, at times it was frustrating. We were all competing for very short and few dollars.
Right.
There was one time I stayed up like literally all night for a grant portal to open, and then funding was exhausted within minutes.
Right.
And then there were some where we were just able actually to get the economic and the development things. So those helped out a lot.
Good.
Access to capital, being able, and then the supply chain that
Right.
was completely disrupted. Where are we gonna? Everything is closed.
Right.
Not just me, but the people that we purchased from.
Right.
And then a lot of our things were coming from the origin of the pandemic, and so that supply chain was shut off as well.
Right.
So a lot of dynamic there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that just created a whole issue, right? I mean, I don't even know how to say it because it's just so overwhelming.
That's a great word for it.
The impact of, like you said, the supply chain, the distributors, the trucks driving the packages.
Absolutely.
I mean, everything was disrupted. So I guess that's kind of how COVID-19 changed your environment of how you were getting things. But how did it change? Did it change how you were doing things in the store as well?
Yes. We had to pivot. The 2020 where we had to pivot. We had to be agile. Of course, we had a business plan. We had a model. It got wrecked.
Right.
In the middle of this.
Right.
And so we had to pivot to where the customers were. I was sitting at home and I was coming off one of those crying binges. And I remember I had some sunglasses at one of the stores. So I said, you know what? We gotta eat here.
Right.
I gotta figure out how to move this. So I brought the sunglasses. I put you do the laundry totes. I have like laundry totes, like laying around with stuff I'm going to sift through and organize. Stacked up 2 laundry totes, put the sunglasses on it, turned my iPhone on, and I went live.
Trying to sell them.
And there it was. I sold every single pair of sunglasses. I made like $347. I had the eye of the tiger then. So
yeah, there you go.
I was ready to roll.
Yeah.
So from then, our entire business model pivoted to where we brought online direct to customer to the forefront. And that has literally saved our lives.
Yeah, it saved the business for sure. So now though, are you back? Are all your stores back open now?
Happy to report all of the stores are back open. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. They have not fully returned to pre-COVID sales revenue.
Sure.
Our online revenue is supporting all 3 of the stores. Want to give it some time. I love all of the push to shop small, the community really rallying around and coming. Obviously, all that has to be supported by the consumer having confidence and the money to purchase.
Right.
And so that's going to take some time. So we're here. We're in the community. Our stores are open.
Right.
And we are ready to do business.
Right. And you have a lot of community involvement too, right? Why don't you let our listeners in on that?
Oh my. Now it started, I've been doing community work for a long time, but it really intensified during COVID when they shut down schools.
Right.
Whoever thought our children wouldn't be going to school? The first day that they shut it down, it kept me up at night because where I came from in the city of Flint, I knew that the children relied on school lunch there. And if they weren't going to get anything to eat. And so I told my husband, I said, we need to make some sandwiches and be able to have the children come and get food. And so we started that all the community came out, donated food, sandwiches, and everything. And so we started a drive-through lunch program where parents could just drive by.
Perfect.
And get the lunch for their children. And then also it's called the Sparkle Pink Club for Girls.
Sparkle Pink?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, we teach girls how to be amazing.
Good.
Starting at age 3. And so just mentoring and molding them to teach them to be the next great CEO, entrepreneur, banker, mother, whatever their aspirations
whatever
are.
they want to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I always hear that I love that you said mother, because, not everybody wants to be in business, and I think it's a great aspiration to be in business, and I think it's a great aspiration to be a mom, to stay at home and be a mom. If you want to do that, more power to you. There's no more rewarding job than that. I don't think, without any pay.
I was going to say, I haven't seen much.
It's like, you don't make anything, but what you get back from your children is wonderful.
It's
so
priceless.
if that is your choice, more power to you. But we and we celebrate you as well, with Mother's Day coming up too, So we celebrate you as well. And we also, the moms that work, the effect of the kids not being in school, and some of the daycares weren't open. I don't know how they made it through this last year. I don't have any small children right now.
Wow.
So my kids are both grown, so I didn't have to deal with that. But I just can't imagine how they see all these women that were in the workplace that now all of a sudden they're not in the workplace anymore. Did that affect you with employees too?
My employees quit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they all quit.
But my children were at home.
Oh,
and
so, yeah.
I had to be their teacher, and they, oh my gosh, there was some serious mental repercussions for a 15-year-old not being socialized for a year.
Right.
My son, that was a lot to not see his friends for a year. And, and so we're still even dealing with that and getting him back healthy again, because they lost a lot during that time.
And I know I got off track here. This really has nothing to do with their business, but it's okay. We want to hear those aspects of business too, because you're dealing with that. All of your employees, the ones that you've brought in,
to make tough
have
choices.
to deal with it too. So I don't want to spend all of our time on that. We've got about another minute left. Is there what are your hours for the shops?
Oh, yeah. They can shop. Oh, my gosh. Somerset has our most convenient hours.
Okay.
Our shopping times there. You can shop from 9 a.m. all the way until 7 p.m. And then now we're open on Sunday from noon until 5. Downtown Flint has limited hours. That's a Wednesday through Saturday window of opportunity to check that store out starting at 11 a.m.
So how can people find out more? Because you said you're doing stuff online too. So why don't you give that out? And are your hours for your stores on that site?
Yep. We hang out on Facebook.
Oh,
so
Facebook.
Check us out at Glam Boutiques on Facebook. You'll get our store hours there. Learn a little bit more about me, the work that we do in the community, and the amazing things that we have in stores.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So what was the name of that on Facebook again? It was
Glam Boutiques.
Glam Boutique. So I want to thank you for coming in. It was very nice. I've met you before, but haven't had an extended conversation.
Thank you.
I enjoyed hearing from you. I want to remind our listeners that if you want to email us with questions or comments on the show, discoverflinttownship@gmail.com, or you can visit us on Facebook at Flint Township Events, FLINTTWPEVENTS. Our YouTube channel is Discover Flint Township. Our website is discoverflinttownship.com or flinttownship.org. And I want to thank our guests. I want to thank our sponsors, HAP, Shea Automotive Group, Financial Plus Credit Union, Guaranteed Rate, and 103.9 The Fox. And join us next week with Shea and the Coffee Beanery. And this is Tracy Tucker. Stay safe, stay healthy, shop local, buy local, and discover Flint Township.
This has been Discover Flint Township with Tracy Tucker. For more information, visit discoverflinttownship.com. Flint Township is ready for your next move. preceding program was pre-recorded and was paid for by Discover Flint Township. The views expressed are those of Discover Flint Township and do not necessarily reflect the views of 103.9 The Fox or Krill Communications, Inc.